The year is 2012. The Avengers just smashed box office records and expectations, bringing with it a flood of confidence in the future of the MCU. This included expanding beyond the big screen to a new medium, television. The creation of Marvel Television was announced back in 2010, but it wasn't until 2013 when the first official announcement of a show came out. It was Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., the first show that was set to be part of the larger MCU, and it certainly wasn't the last. Over the course of 7 years, there would be a total of 12 Marvel TV shows. 3 of these shows aired on ABC, 6 on Netflix, 2 on Hulu, and 1 on Freeform. Taking an objective look at those numbers, someone without context would probably assume that Marvel Television was very successful. But of course, context matters. And the main thing to know here is that Marvel Television and Marvel Studios did not get along. Quick summary for those that don't know, Kevin Feige had a feud of creative differences with Marvel CEO and chairman Ike Perlmutter, who at the time had control of the television shows, which prevented any collaboration and communication between the shows and the movies. And if you're wondering who was the bad guy here, it was Perlmutter. So very clearly Perlmutter. And this led to the Marvel television shows being killed off one by one. No show lasted more than 3 seasons, and no show had the luxury of time to plan out a proper ending. All except one, that is. The show that not only had the longest run, but a show that literally outlived the entirety of Marvel television. Of course, the show I speak of is the enigmatic Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Enigmatic because against all odds, this show did what no other Marvel show could, getting 7 seasons and being able to finish the show on their own terms. And I honestly have no idea why the show wasn't cancelled earlier on. Seriously, there seems to be no logical explanation that supports Marvel keeping the show around. The ratings were never that great, and Kevin Feige made a point of it to cancel all the Marvel shows once he had control. So then, how the hell did Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. plan on ending with Season 5, and then go against the natural order of Marvel television shows, and be renewed for not 1, but 2 more seasons? Again, I don't know, but my best guess is that it had at least something to do with this, and the dedicated, passionate fan base that the show had. Now, if you haven't seen the show, this is your last chance. Spoilers ahead for everything, because I am not going to be able to stop talking about this show once I start. If you are a Marvel fan, do yourself a massive favor and go watch the show for yourself. It will not disappoint you. Alright, warnings have been issued. Now I could get into why I love this show so damn much. Coulson's back. Welcome to level 7. Simmons sacrifices herself. Tahiti. S.H.I.E.L.D. is Hydra. Ward is Hydra. Ward drops Fitzsimmons in the ocean. Fitz sacrifices himself. Coulson uses the same gun from the Avengers. Nick Fury. Fitz with Simmons, but Simmons was never really there. Skye gets powers. Bobby sacrifices herself for Hunter. May's cavalry backstory. Coulson loses an arm. Cheyenne tries to kill Skye. Maybe Daisy at this point. Simmons sucks onto another planet. Fitz travels to that planet to save Simmons. Ward kills Coulson's girlfriend. Coulson kills Ward. Ward becomes an alien demon shotgun axe. Lincoln sacrifices himself. Spies goodbye. Ghost Rider. Actual ghost. Life model decoys. The Matrix. Framework. Agents of Hydra. Dr. Fitz. Good guy Ward. Max daughter disappearing. Coulson Ghost Rider. The team in space in the future. Undercover badass. Future Fitz. More shotgun axe. Armless yo-yo. Fitzsimmons wedding. Deke is their grandson. Fear dimension. Dr. Fitz returns. Graviton Talbot. Coulson dies in Tahiti. Search for other Fitz. Evil Coulson. Sexy Daisy AI. Tripping balls. Evil Fitz and Evil Simmons. Get it on. Isel the body snatcher. Coulson stabs May. Badass. Undead. God killing May. Genre episodes. Groundhog Day. The end is the beginning. Patton Oswalt. Quantum Realm. Fitzsimmons kids. Happy endings. Whew. Now that I got that out of my system, allow me to go into further detail about what I love. The characters and the stories in this show go hand in hand like the NFL and concussions. It's almost impossible to talk about one without the other because of how much they affect each other. If you finish Season 7 and then go back and watch an episode from Season 1, it is jarring. The show covers so much ground over 7 seasons. The development of all these characters is incredible and extremely well done. Daisy from the techie opposition to superpowered fighting badass. May from stone cold badass to showing her emotions badass. Mac learning to lead as director. Yo-Yo learning to control her powers, and she also got her arms cut off, so that's pretty rough. Coulson becoming his own person. Fitz and Simmons becoming the most badass characters on the show by using brain over brawn. And that is a massive oversimplification of these characters. It's so cool to see how these characters change with each scenario they go through. And these scenarios and stories they delve into are insane. It's definitely the best thing to come out of the Feige Perlmutter feud. Because the show wasn't strictly adhering to the MCU films, they began to drift further and further away, which allowed them to do some absolutely bonkers storylines. The Hive storyline with Simmons being stuck on an alien planet, the Framework with evil Fitz, time travel to a future where the Earth was destroyed by Daisy, Coulson coming back as an ancient god, and timeline meddling that saw Agent Sousa from Agent Carter brought back to our time, as well as Daisy's dead sister also coming back from another time. This show continually surprised us with its storytelling and always kept pushing to new heights. It was doing WandaVision genre episodes before it was cool. The Groundhog Day time loop episode was one of my favorites, and fun fact, it was directed by Elizabeth Henstridge, aka Gemma Simmons. Also, side note, the effects in the show are way better than they have any right to be. Props to the VFX, makeup, set design, and any related departments for creating some truly incredible visuals on their TV budget. But the thing that surprised me most was how emotional this show could get. They had some incredible moments that showcased the actors' abilities and showed that this show has some serious emotional range. Fitz sacrificing himself to save Gemma at the bottom of the ocean, May's tragic backstory, Mac's daughter disappearing, Coulson's goodbye, and a whole lot of Ian DeCasticker. Forgive me if I pronounced that wrong. I don't think it's crazy to say that Fitz's death was the saddest moment of any Marvel show or movie. Ian DeCasticker was phenomenal in this scene, in a moment that cemented his character's legendary status. I think Mac My Legs Broke beats Mr. Stark I Don't Feel So Good.
Hey Mac, I think my leg's broken.
I know this show didn't go the way a lot of people wanted. I know we wanted a more direct connection to the MCU, and we wanted to see characters crossover. Believe me, it would be awesome if I saw Fitz show up at Avengers headquarters to help the gang figure out quantum realm time travel. I almost lost my mind seeing Jarvis in that scene with Howard Stark. But just be thankful for what we got, because we could just as easily had it taken away from us early on, just like all the other TV shows. Be thankful for all those awesome stories and character moments that made us laugh and cry, gasp and applaud, and kept us entertained for 7 wonderful seasons of television that was the lone reminder of hope in an otherwise hopeless situation. And now that we are getting the Disney Plus shows and everything is under the trustworthy control of Kevin Feige, who knows, maybe we will see these characters again. There have been talks about bringing these characters back in some capacity, whether by a reboot or recast or maybe multiverse exploration. Until then, let's appreciate what we got and continue to enjoy the ever-growing Marvel Cinematic Universe. Because after all, the MCU truly is
a magical place.
Thank you for watching. I know there's a lot I left out in this incredibly brief look at this show, because there was so much material that if I rambled on, this video would be 5 hours long. That being said, let me know what I missed, and feel free to comment your favorite moments from the show down below. I'd love to hear what you think. And if you hate this show, and you just came here to trash it, make sure to drop a big fat dislike and call me a idiot in the comments section. Also, I want to mention that the soundtrack is freaking awesome. Bum, 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 bum.